Hello everyone and welcome to episode 182 of the Xbox Hall of Gamers podcast. This week I'm joined by Shane.
Hello.
And Cameron.
Hello.
This week news is a little bit quiet. We are kind of getting into gaming release season though, so a lot of stuff's coming out that we're keeping our eyes on, but the talk has been a little bit quiet now that Gamescom has kind of been and gone. How you guys doing? Cameron, how you feeling? What have you been up to? I mean, you're planning for a wedding?
Planning for the wedding. I feel like I've got everything organized now.
Okay, so you, yeah, okay, all right. Good luck with that.
I got to get one thing tomorrow, and I should be good. Should be good.
Excellent. Shane, what about you? How you been? You're back from vacation?
Yeah, but I'm back from vacation. I guess it doesn't show in the bright white lights how much browner I am now, but got a bit of a tan and can finally game a little bit and be on here with you guys.
Oh, great. All right. As always, we do this show live on Twitch. Xbox Hall of Gamers is the place to find us. So come say hi, hang out, and chat, shitpost, usual business. You know how it works. But if you do happen to miss the VODs, you can check us out on YouTube or your audio platform of choice. Now, we do have a couple of community questions this week, so we'll start cracking into those. The first one is from our wonderful Patreon, Left for Legacy, who says, which IP would you like to be made into a Lego game? He suggests a boys Lego game would be wild, which I think is an amazing idea. I'm just thinking of the scene with the baby with the laser eyes done in a Lego format would just be top
Diabolical.
Yeah, exactly. Scorched earth. I don't know. Any initial thoughts? I feel like the Lego genre is just so rich for doing just about anything, really.
I don't know if it already counts Doctor Who.
Oh yeah, I could see. I mean, obviously, yeah, they did the Legos Dimension things, but yeah, I could definitely see like a proper Doctor Who's got enough interesting characters and storylines and things they can pull from.
Yeah, they'd have a lot to pull from there.
I feel like every answer I'm going to have is just like take the most serious topic, like Breaking Bad or something like that, and just Lego.
The Sopranos, but in Lego.
Yeah.
I'd play the fuck out of that.
Just have an HBO Max one.
Yeah, actually, like an HBO Max pack. So it's like, yeah, exactly. I mean, I think the obvious answer is Dexter, right? I feel like a Dexter Lego.
Is that obvious?
I feel like it'd be so insane.
Damn it!
You blew it up.
I just wrote it down.
Yeah, of course you did.
Jeez, okay. Well, I guess I'm the odd one out then. I would never have guessed that one.
We've all been watching Dexter, I suppose. That's probably top of mind. Resurrection's probably
top of mind,
I need to catch up on it. Yeah, I don't know. I feel like the Lego franchise could just really be used for anything. I mean, obviously, like Star Wars is my baby, and I've always loved that the Lego Star Wars stuff has been some of the best video game material that Star Wars had for a long time. From like the 360.
I'm trying to find the most out there.
I'd want like a Shonen Jump one with all the different anime and everything.
Yeah, that could work. That'd be a really interesting kind of crossover. Yeah, doing like classic storylines, like a Dragon Ball Z or a Naruto or like a Bleach.
Or yes, all those. Yes.
Hell yeah.
Like cross them over.
Yeah. Hell yeah.
Jump Ultimate Stars is like the best game ever. So
that's what I've heard. That's what I've heard. Yeah, absolutely. I don't know anyone's ever played it, but apparently it's great.
I got the cart right over there. This is my first foray into guide writing.
Oh man. Yeah, I'm trying to think of. I mean, I feel like a Mortal Kombat would be good. I feel like the fighting game stuff is also a pretty rich kind of area for that, right? Big cast of characters, lots of like different visual stuff, fun things to play around with.
See, I'd say no, it doesn't fit the gameplay style, but we're getting a Batman Lego Arkham pretty much.
That's true. Yeah.
Go figure, I guess.
And like you can't really say GTA because I feel like they've done that a million times with Lego already, right? They kind of outside
Lego City, I think it's called.
Yeah, Lego City and things like that, and even in the past, like a lot of those Lego games started off as big open world kind of sandboxes, which makes sense because it's like it's a kind of thing where you go around and fuck things up. Lego Minecraft. I'd love a Lego Halo. I think that would be a really fun, like, you know, like they've already kind of done this sort of top down, like Spartan Assault kind of twin stick kind of thing, like something along those lines with like a co-op play through the Halo series, the Lego Master
They
Chief
did
collection
Mega-
or something.
They did
Like
Mega
Lego
Box
Spartan
as an
Assault?
idea, didn't they?
Yeah, they did Mega Blocks for their actual, like the actual release of them. Yeah.
Yeah. Mega Bloks needs to stop. Pokemon's finally going to Lego. Very excited about that.
Oh, that's cool. Yeah.
Yes.
No. But they did a an alpha, or they did a vertical slice of a Mega Bloks Halo game.
Oh, did
It
they?
just never saw the light.
That's a
Yeah, it
shame.
never saw the light of day.
It does ring a bell.
Yeah, I feel like they'd just be like
It leaked like a few years ago.
yeah. Kyo says Shadow of the Colossus. Yep, like Shadow of the Colossus. Like actually, all of the like Eco Shadow of the Colossus and Last Guardian would actually be really really cool as Lego stuff. The Saw movies, yeah, I could definitely see that. It would be really really fucked up and weird, like that or Final Destination or something. I don't know, like horror stuff. I
Instead
feel
of
like is a fun juxtaposition.
Instead of like a pool of needles. Yeah, instead of a pool of needles they have to go through, it's a bunch of Legos.
Exactly, it's like
stepping on those is a nightmare.
Exactly, yeah. It's Lego blocks but they have like needle stickers on them so that you know to basically represent them.
I mean, I guess so, but yeah, you don't need that. Again, if you ever stepped on a Lego, it is a
not,
nightmare.
Yeah, I'm just trying to think if there's anything else in particular, but I feel like the Lego stuff would just be great, and I've heard that the like the Skywalker Saga was really really good for the Lego stuff, but yeah, I'm trying to think of anything else. Yes.
Katamari.
Oh, Katamari as Lego would be interesting.
Oh, that'd be cute.
You know, to be
I
fair,
feel like that'd be a very
I think I would
idea.
want a Katamari Lego set as opposed to a Lego game,
Oh,
right? Because I
I
feel
might
like
should buy that.
you know, because I feel like a Katamari Lego set would be so fucking cute and cool, and like you know, you could make the ball of whatever you wanted, really, right? The game, I don't know. I feel like the game would just be Katamari again because that is very much just like roll things up, right? And fuck things up and
It would just be Katamari as Lego, but
As Lego, yeah.
I still think it's a cool idea.
I just want a Lego King of All Cosmos with that giant fucking cod piece, and just yeah.
You can sit at my desk at work. I would buy that immediately.
Exactly. I know. I was talking to Char today, and Char found a Lego Balrog with Gandalf on the bridge, and it's one of those ones that goes in the bookcase thing, so you can kind of have it closed in like it's a book, and then you can kind of open it out into like a landscape.
Oh, that's awesome.
Man, it's so fucking cool. There's also a Sherlock Holmes one as well. It was very very cool, but. I made the mistake of going into the Lego store when I was in Wellington, and nearly came out with an armful of shit, but I had to resist because it's so fucking expensive.
I wish it was a cheaper hobby.
Yeah, that's definitely one of those ones where I'm just like, it makes no sense. It's so fucking expensive, to be honest, because it is just colored plastic at the end of the day.
You're paying for that name, man.
You really are. All right. We also have another question here from Red Ninja Dan, who says, what's one random thing that you guys love doing in games? For him, it says, for me, it's character creation. I will randomly load up games where I'm bored sometimes and randomly make characters with the intent of using them for a playthrough. Which, to be fair, I feel like there's definitely a subgenre of that, right? I remember when Baldur's Gate was coming out, and everyone was like, they released like the beginning of like the prologue and a bit of the first act, and it was like the character creator, and people were just spending hours crafting characters.
Yep, Saints Row did the same thing. They always
Yeah.
had their character creator come out.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. Is there anything like that sticks out to you guys, or like patterns that you have in video games outside of, you know, our obsessive achievement hunting?
Collect stuff. Always.
Yeah.
I have to if I'm playing like Castlevania, I'm gonna collect one of every drop.
Yeah.
I'm gonna fill out the encyclopedia, all that. I love that kind of thing.
No question marks. It's
That's why I like achievements so much.
Yeah, for sure. Definitely the completionist mindset, 100%. Yeah.
I mean, back before achievement hunting, it was just exploring the sandbox. Like, just find what's the. I don't want to say I was the kind of player that, you know, let's try and get out of bounds or something, but it was like,
Sure.
what's the cool, interesting, hidden stuff?
I did ask Alison this question, and she was like, "I just like to try and break the games as much as humanly possible." I was like, "That's fair. Like that's what video games are, right? Like these agents of chaos thrown into a sandbox to see if you can just fucking ruin it for everyone."
Developers love it.
Yeah, developers love that, but I think that's just inherent in the art form. For me, I was bigger to like finding Easter eggs and all those kind of shit. Like I was always a big fan of, again, doing the Leonardo point, like being like, "Oh shit, it's that thing," or it's I'll talk about one in a little bit. One I was playing that I got to go. I saw it and I was like, wait, really? And then I looked it up and I was like, oh, it fucking is. And then I got to explain it to Allison, who was like, yeah, I don't care. But yeah, anything else in particular? Like, yeah, things we like doing. I'm really obsessive around trying to make sure that my time counter in a video game is accurate. So anytime I'm not playing something, I will almost always just shut it down and just make sure that I'm like, because again, I'm always it was one of the most annoying things on TA was when they started adding those estimates and asking people to put them in, because I was like, fuck, now I need to time keep this. And like even I was talking like if you see Jake's screenshots, he's got the speedrunner timer in the corner of how long he's been playing the game. So he has a record of it at all time, and like I'm thinking about doing something like that because it just makes it easier. I mean, obviously some games
similar when I'm streaming.
Yeah, right, exactly. And so I'm just like, I'm always like, I want to make sure I try and get this accurate, but I also like trying to beat the time that's on TA because a bunch of those people take too fucking long with their games and just.
Yeah, but say it's not hard a lot, man.
No,
I found.
Yeah, I'm trying to skate under it a few times, but yeah, but that's always the one I enjoy.
Organizing boxes is always fun. Love doing that.
Yeah, like inventory management stuff. I'm just like, again, it's that there's something very
Minecraft, Resident Evil, all that stuff. Just organize everything into the way. Yep.
Yeah, exactly.
Sorting, collecting is always nice.
Mm-hmm.
I really despise isn't probably the right word, but I really don't gel with games that just have too much limited space and all that.
Yeah, I get
like if you feel like you're restricted in.
Yeah,
agreed.
I hate that too. I just feel like it's unnecessary.
The timing conversation though, and that I've gone point. TAs is ridiculously bad for me. I've just gone past the point of caring. I like Anthem wasn't 300 hours.
Well, no, obviously, but you at least have some sort of indication, right? But I was just like, I'm going to try and get this as accurate as possible, just because it just fucking bothers me. Yeah, I'm trying to think if there's anything else that springs to mind. Most of my bad habits in video games have been readily documented on this and Real Gamer Score from back of the years. So there's probably a few that I'm forgetting, but yeah.
My habits in terms of spending on video games.
Well, that's a whole different kettle of fish. But yeah, 100%. All right. Well, hopefully those answer your questions there, Legacy and Dan. Let's get into the news. So like we said, it wasn't a huge amount this week. But I guess probably the biggest news, question mark, is that Bungie's CEO, Pete Parsons, has stepped down earlier last week at this point. But, sorry, yes, Cameron, stepped down in quotes. Stepped down, yeah. So Bungie has been obviously going through a bit of a rough time recently with the latest Destiny not really kind of popping off, the latest Destiny expansion, and Marathon getting delayed, not just because of user feedback, but also because of the whole plagiarism stuff. Like let me put it this way. I don't think I've heard a good thing about Bungie in a very, very long time.
I think the last time was, hey, they got bought by Sony.
Yeah, that's right. It. And even then we were like, that's way too much for a single studio. That's crazy.
Yeah. Oh, they really want that infrastructure, though. That beautiful, beautiful infrastructure for games like Concord.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, they want that live service experience from Bungie to feed out into all the other games that they've released that have made money and come out and not been shut down. So
yeah, it's going so well.
There was they were planning on like 10 to 12 projects over the next year, and I think we got Helldivers, and that's about it. I think
which, to be fair,
is good.
Love that game.
Great game,
but
yeah. But obviously, they've been going through a lot of layoffs recently. They've had 100 in 2023, 220 in 2024, and then another 155 got spun off into a new studio, or have been absorbed into the sort of PlayStation thing. And this kind of seems to be the prevailing message for Bungie, is that now that they kind of haven't been performing, that Sony are going to be like, we're kind of not going to let you operate on your own anymore. You guys need some more oversight. Sony's CFO Lin Tao basically remarked recently that they were going to get lighter on their independence and be shifting to a role which is more becoming part of PlayStation Studios. But yeah, I don't know. Do we have any big feelings about this? Any thoughts about Bungie? I know we've talked about it a few times over the last few months, but yeah, are we surprised that P. Parsons is stepping down?
No, he oversaw Bungie during all these problems going on, the layoffs. Dude spent like millions on a vintage car collection while people are getting laid off. Like, screw that guy.
Yeah, he's very much like a let them eat cake kind of person. Well, again,
yes,
that's been the perception, at least. Yeah.
It's crazy looking back to, like, even to the point of Bungie splitting from Activision.
Yeah.
Like, what year would that have been? I don't know. I used to have such a positive sentiment for it, and just like, yeah, screw Activision Blizzard. Like, go the smaller of the bigger guys.
Sure. Yeah.
But man, Bungie's like really just been screwing the pooch the last few years. Like,
yeah, I mean, I'll fully admit, like, I never played Destiny. It was one of those ones that I really wanted to get into, but I just didn't have the timing wise. It just didn't work out for me in the community and all that kind of stuff. But from what I've heard,
I remember playing the beta. It was cool. I mean,
it's like, I'll defend it. Like, Destiny is a very solid game. When it was back on its release, I guess the biggest issue it had was the story was very lacking.
Yes.
But gameplay, like, you know, gameplay is key for me. Destiny has always had that really satisfying gunplay that keeps you hooked, wanting to come back. When Destiny 2 started messing with stuff, that's when I immediately dropped off. Because I was obsessed with Destiny 1. Destiny 2 was a completely different story.
Sure. Destiny 2 was what? Yeah, 2017 for context, which is crazy to think about. That it's been that long, and Bungie hasn't really had a release since then. I mean, obviously they've been supporting they bought themselves out, became independent, they got bought. They've gone through a lot of changes. Marathon was kind of their next big thing, but yeah, I don't know.
God, it feels like forever ago, but I guess it was what Destiny 2 came out, and then 2018 they split from Activision, and then they got bought up, and now they're a shadow of their former selves so fast. Do we think the new guy's going to do any better, or right the ship?
I don't know. I mean, like, there's the whole thing. Obviously, Marathon has been delayed. We haven't been given a new date for that outside of end of the financial year, I think. So probably before March. So maybe we're looking at like a February release. But like, I don't even know if they're going to hit that. Yeah, Cameron?
I just realized they did release Destiny Rising this year as well.
But that's not them, though, right?
Oh yeah.
They're not.
Is it them, or is it?
They're not developing that, I don't think.
Okay.
Or at least, they're if they are, they're co-developing it. Like, it's not their full main team working on that, I don't think.
Is that the mobile one?
Yeah, the sort of gacha game, the mobile one. Yeah.
Oh, that's a choice.
Apparently, it's the problem is apparently it's a very good game. So they've actually which is even worse, because it's easy to ignore gacha when the games are bad, but
no gacha game's bad. Everyone loves those. Yeah, they're all great.
Ugh. But yeah, I think
developed by NetEase with NetEase.
Yeah, NetEase,
of course, NetEase.
Yeah, which is no big surprise there. So I guess we'll see. I mean, I know there was some other stuff we kind of mentioned a little while ago that Bungie had some other things in like incubation for a while. This kind of ties in with another story that I don't have on the list here, but there were some chats at Sony around like how they do business and kind of like failing fast. And so the whole thing being that like failing fast and cheaply was something they've been talking about a lot in terms of starting out projects, canceling them quite quickly if they don't turn around very, very fast, and just kind of not wanting to end up like Concord, where you're putting all this money into something that's just not going to pay off at all. So I think maybe this ties into that strategy. So maybe we'll see some more interesting stuff from Bungie now that they're kind of changing up a little bit. I guess it will depend on how Marathon comes out, if it comes out. Because their delay technically is indefinite at this point. They have not let us know when that is actually happening. All right. Next story here is, you may have heard of it, Silksong. Big game that everyone's very, very excited for. We're probably going to have to play it for Game of the Year chat because I'm sure it'll end up on a lot of people's list. Probably should go. Yeah.
What a hit if it didn't.
Well, that's. I mean, I have been quietly being like, what if this is not? I mean, like, at this stage, I don't even know if it's okay for it to be a good game. It needs to be a great game in terms of all this hype. Although apparently, the Team Cherry have been actually having a really good time with the development cycle, and all these rumors around like, oh, they're in development hell for the last 6 years to make this game. Apparently, they've just been having a great time and just kind of come up with ideas and riffing on stuff. And I feel like that's crazy to me, considering they haven't put out a game in 6 years. But
all of the conversations that came out of Gamescom was we had so much fun developing this game that we didn't want to stop.
Yeah, which I don't understand.
It's crazy to imagine a world, though, where a studio has done so well on a former game that they're just like, screw it, let's spend as much time as possible and just really enjoy ourselves with this.
Well, I think it's two things, right? Yes, obviously Hollow Knight was a huge smash success for them. But also, they know Silksong's going to sell like gangbusters, so they can afford to put more time and effort into it. Because even if the game is bad, it is still, the most wishlisted game on Steam?
Yeah. Yeah, it's 5 million wishlist or something like that, which is crazy.
Yeah.
Cool.
There's two things I want to say with this one. The first one is about all the indies and all that.
Yeah.
The other thing was, did you hear about what they're doing with their key, like their early access reviews?
For Silksong, apparently they're not doing any, right? They're basically saying that
if you're a Patreon supporter,
right,
you'll get early access.
Oh, okay.
I believe this is what I read. You'll have early access if you're a Patreon supporter or a Kickstarter, one or the other. But normal reviewers and all that will just get it day one.
Yeah, because they basically said they didn't think it was fair that the reviewers get to play the game before everyone else. Which might be marketing speak for we don't want reviews to be out there, but I also feel like this is the kind of game where that doesn't make sense for that to be the
it doesn't matter. The hype is too big.
It's too big. Yeah, exactly. I don't think it's going to matter what reviewers say. This game is going to sell. This game will probably be the best selling game of this year. Like, considering GTA 6, considering GTA 6 isn't coming out this year, I don't think it has a huge amount of other competition. But yeah.
I mean, everyone got out of the way of Silksong the minute it was announced.
Well, that's what we're seeing here, right? Like a bunch of developers have been like, "Nah, we're out."
Yeah, no, thank you.
So, Eterna Lucius was apparently going to be coming out in September. Now got moved to next year. It's another Metroidvania. Phaland, which is another Metroidvania, is in early access. Was supposed to come out 9th of September for like V1 as their actual proper release. Yeah. So they've delayed it, haven't given a new date for it yet. There's a Stomp in the Sword of Miracles. It has a demo and a Kickstarter, and that's also been postponed. Clover Pit Usher looks really fucking cool, and I really want to play it.
Clover Pit, is that like the demon slot machine?
Yeah, the one where you're in the prison with the slot machine, kind of has that buckshot roulette style to it. Looks really fucking cool. Demon School got delayed into November, and even Baby Steps now is getting delayed.
I want to say Demon School has already had it's either 2 or 3 delays.
3 delays, I think. Yeah.
So the thing that sucks for Demon School is they have a very loyal audience that have built up over time from them doing showcases and all that. And then it very much got to a point of like, we're finally locked in the release date and all that. And the next day it was Silksong.
Oh, that's
and rough. It was like, oh, I'm sorry, guys. Baby Steps, though, Devolver actually put out a video of, and this is this image here as well, of their character climbing up over it and then falling off the side of Hornet.
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah, Nate is apparently allergic to hornets, says Devolver Digital.
Yeah.
So,
man.
You know, it's such a popular game that I wonder how many indie developers were like the snoo snoo meme from Futurama. It's like smile, frown, smile. Like realizing that they have to get out of the way of this behemoth, but they're probably excited to also play.
oh hell yeah,
So
yeah. I mean, even what was it? Peak even put a message on there. Peak even put a message on there saying, "Good to see you here for the next 2 weeks until Silksong comes out," which is fair, you know.
Peak said like, don't expect any updates while we're playing.
Yeah, exactly,
Silksong.
exactly.
Like.
So, yeah, I guess we'll see. I mean, again, not everything has been delayed, but the indie space does seem to be clearing out a little bit for Silksong in the same way they were for GTA. I don't think I've ever seen anything like this before. I'm just trying to think of any other games that kind of have had this
not
impact.
for an indie game.
Yeah, definitely not, right? I mean, too fair. I mean, outside of even in the AAA space, I'm trying to think of like.
I mean, it is
GTA, Call of Duty. I mean,
it is.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is the most wishlisted game though. I'm just having a look. In terms of the only other stuff that's launching close to it that I recognize is Indiana Jones DLC. Oh, and Kronos: The New Dawn, which Kronos looks pretty good.
Kronos does look quite good.
ooh, that's gonna suffer.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know. I mean, I don't think Kronos was ever going to do crazy big, right?
That's exactly as I'm saying. Like what little it was gonna get, probably was gonna get hit by
Yeah,
Silksong. So,
but there are still a few other things in September. Like Hell Is Us is the one that we talked about a little bit that I'm super excited to figure out what the fuck it is. Yeah, what was it? It was that that Hiragami game that looks really, really beautiful. But yeah, so there are still a few things coming out in September, but you're right. I think it's going to be a bit of at least the first couple of weeks of September are going to be very quiet for everything else, because why would you want to compete with Silksong? Yeah, I hope it really does well for them. And back to our layoff news. Sorry, yes, Cameron?
I wanted to close that thought too. I'm very interested to see what Silksong does for the Australian gaming community. Because like just going back, Call of the Lamb, every year since it came out, Melbourne's Call of the Lamb Central.
That's true. That's true. Yeah, although I don't know. I feel like Cult of the Lamb had a bit of a Australian spirit to it in a way. I don't know. Maybe that's just me reading into it from seeing it at PAX Australia so much, but I don't know. Yeah, I would. Yeah, I'm with you. I'm very curious to see what kind of impact this has on everything, from no longer being the most wishlisted game on Steam to how many copies it sells to what the response is. I feel like this is a long time coming, a big juggernaut of a game. I hope it's good.
Yeah, agreed.
Back to the sad news. Crystal Dynamics is now laying off a number of developers. We don't know yet how many, but they did have a previous round of layoffs back in March, so this is not super unusual. But again, a lot of people are attributing this to the work that they were doing on Perfect Dark, because they joined the project back in 2021 to try and, I guess, right the ship. Again, I really want to see, I want to see the op-ed in a few years of like what the fuck happened at the initiative and like the quadruple A stuff and how this happened. Because the whole thing, like I remember when Crystal Dynamics was brought on, everyone was like, what the fuck is going on? Crystal Dynamics, again, was what? Are they still owned by Square Enix? I can't remember. But
I'm not just sure.
Yeah, I mean, apparently they're working on a new Tomb Raider, which is probably a safe bet for them at this point.
Yeah, those are good.
Yeah. And apparently that's not affected by this, so the people who've been laid off aren't on that team. They were, again, probably more likely related to the Perfect Dark stuff. But, yeah, I don't know what's kind of going on. Oh, they're required by a Bracer Group. That's right. I forgot about that.
Yeah.
Which, again, they did help with the Legacy of Kain remaster, or the Soul Reaver remaster. And, again, I was really hoping that they would stay strong enough that they'd be able to do more of those. And there's still been talk around, like, doing some sort of, like, full remake of the series or something along those lines. But I guess between what happened with Perfect Dark and with the Avengers, they're probably not in the best space right now.
Record is not great right now. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, to be fair, it doesn't sound like a great time to be a game developer anywhere. But
Unless you're working in Silksong, apparently. You can just
Apparently.
hang out and do what you want to do. Management, I'm sure, is a lot better there than these other places.
Yeah.
I would assume.
Agreed. Cameron, you found a couple of stories for us as well. What have you got?
Yeah, so little bit of quick news. Call of Duty World War II returned to PC Game Pass after the Xbox Store delisting. I think it was like last month, the month before I got delisted because there was a remote code execution exploit.
Oh, that's right. Yes. Okay. Yeah.
They're taking control of other people's PCs during multiplayer matches. Because of the security flaw, they had to take it down so that they could fix it. Yeah. So that's back up. It's back part of Game Pass. That's pretty much it for that. And then the other one was Atari has acquired 5 Ubisoft games, including Cold Fear, Child of Eden, I Am Alive, Grow Home, and Grow Up. Their plans are to re-release these titles under their new publishing label and explore opportunities to expand their reach.
Remasters, achievements, yes.
Hopefully, yeah. Like that'd be cool. I mean, we got one of the Grow games. It was a Grow Up, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it was free for it was Xbox Gold.
That's right. Yeah. So, because
I owned it for some reason.
That was a sequel because I think Grow Home was the original, and I don't think we ever got that. So it'd be cool to have that on there. Yeah, it's good to see that these games are kind of not languishing in the vaults, not being used. I remember playing I Am Alive. I remember that was hugely hyped as going to be a big AAA game back in the day, and then it kind of came out as like an Xbox Live Arcade game, massively shrunk down. It was not. I mean, it was an interesting idea, but I think execution was pretty rough.
Yeah, it's just a footnote as an easy completion at this point.
Yeah, basically.
It'd be interesting to see what Atari do with it, because Atari is such a weird company.
They're a very strange company. Now that they've finished building their hotels or whatever.
Yeah.
And their fucking speaker hats and all that kind of weird shit.
Maybe they can give it the Sword Quest treatment,
I mean,
get some modern day trophies.
Yeah, I was going to say, maybe get some I don't think they're in a financial position to be doing that anymore.
That's okay. They'll just go missing and they'll end up in their CEO's basement or something.
Yeah, probably.
But yeah, that's all the news I had.
All right, a couple of quick ones. I will just jump on. Xbox is bringing cloud gaming to standard and core on Game Pass. So cloud gaming currently is only available on PC Game Pass and Game Pass Ultimate. So now they're expanding that service out to the other ones as well. I guess trying to make cloud more of an appealing piece. I wonder if this is ahead of any price increases or stuff. Wouldn't surprise me if they're going to make some more adjustments in that space now they're offering more value. But yeah, I agree, Shane. I think it's a good move for them to kind of be moving in that direction.
That does appear to be where their money making is the Game Pass. So hit everything hard as you can.
Yeah, especially now that you can kind of they keep adding more games to the stream your own games as opposed to just the Game Pass stuff. It makes sense for that to be part of the offering for other bits and pieces. I am surprised they're offering it for core though. I mean, I understand for standard, but core is just like so basic. But I guess they want to get people used to the idea of not owning games or not buying games and just using the subscription service. There's some new Starfield DLC that was been teased. We kind of talked a little bit about that. There were some rumors a week or two ago that there were going to be some big changes there. I think it was the Starborn expansion, I think is what the rumor was. So it's looking like there'll be a new second DLC early next year, it looks like, maybe. But apparently it's going to have some big changes. So Tim Lamb, who's one of the Bethesda developers, basically said, I think as it comes to Starfield, I'm really excited for players to see what the teams have been working on, and we've got some really cool stuff. Again, it's just kind of like free updates and other bits of DLC and a new story. It sounds like they're trying to do a bit of a big overhaul, which, I think was part of those rumors. I'm really excited to see what they do because I feel like Starfield has so much potential, or had so much potential when it was kind of in development and when it first came out, and like it has the kernel of something interesting in there, but the way they executed on it just did not pay off at all. And I don't think the first DLC did anything to assuage that, even when they added like vehicles and other bits and pieces to get around. So really curious to see what they do in that space. I'll be definitely checking that out.
I was going to say, did we talk about the Forza Horizon 6 stuff?
No,
last
we
week,
didn't actually,
or-
technically. Yeah, because it's not technically, it's still a rumor right at this point. But yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, so basically the rumor going around is that Forza Horizon 6 will be announced at TGS and it will involve Japan, which
Yeah,
makes sense if it's
if at
getting shown
Tokyo
at
Game Show,
TGS.
yeah, that would make a lot of sense.
Yeah. And I don't know if we might have just talked about it in the party the other day, but essentially what happened was there was an Australian photographer or photography brand that went over to Japan to take photos. They put up a social media post, and then that was deleted quickly shortly
Yeah, which
after.
always, lends a bit of credence to these kinds of things.
Yep.
Yeah.
Are
I
we
will be very
excited?
surprised if it releases. I am very excited, but I don't think it's going to come out this year.
No way. There's no way they announce it as
No, no,
September or
no.
whatever, and it comes out in November. That's nuts. They want time to hype it up.
Just wondering if this is going to be like a early next year situation or if it's going to be a late next year situation.
I mean, if I was doing it, I would make it a summer, like US summer next year, middle of the year, quiet time, not a lot of releases. Microsoft are still trying to do that quarterly, first party game every quarter or whatever. Makes sense to release it in a relatively quiet time, get a lot of eyeballs on it, not a lot of competition.
What are their big games at the moment? Because there'll be Fable next year.
Yeah,
This is the other thing too with Playground. I don't know. Yeah. Clockwork Revolution was 2026 or 27.
Oh, they don't even know. They haven't even got a date on it yet.
Yeah.
They said when it's ready,
So
basically.
yeah. Literally, I think.
Yeah. In due time, I think. That's what they said.
I'm trying to think next year in terms of what Xbox's big games are going to be.
E-Day.
E-Day, Fable, Forza potentially.
Forza. Grounded 2 will probably come out of early access.
There's got to be a Halo thing coming at some point soon, right?
Yeah, there was rumors
I'm
about
sure.
a Halo for next
Halo
year as
remake.
well. Yeah, whether it was the remaster or whether it's a new one, we're not sure. But because Rare's obviously not doing anything. Keeper is this year. Yeah, I don't know. It is looking a little bit quiet.
Oh,
Oh, lose you there, Cameron?
Oh. Hello?
No,
yeah,
you
couldn't hear you.
couldn't hear you. Your mic cut out.
Okay,
But
State of Decay 3.
oh yes, yeah, I completely forgot about that. And I think everyone
Oh,
else
there you
did too.
go.
I feel like going into 2026, this is the first time in a while that I don't feel like I have a clear idea of when games should be releasing. Or Xbox has just gotten more tight-lipped about release dates.
I think they definitely have, as things have moved around so much. They're playing their cards pretty close to their chest.
Yeah, we're a bit of a lull too because we got the Sprague Ally coming. We've got. I'm sure we'll get some kind of announcement soon of something more for next year.
Yeah. I mean, to be fair, we'll have Game Awards in December that'll probably have some trailers and stuff. So it wouldn't surprise me if we have a few things that are like, hey, yep, coming out before Key 3 next year.
Something.
Yeah.
Keep that Game Pass subscription. We got stuff for you.
Exactly. And then last thing I want to touch on before we move on is that the Clear Obscure devs have confirmed that they're planning on continuing the series. So not even just like through DLC, but they said that they're 100% going to work on another game, which again is the most obvious thing I've ever heard in my whole life, but I'm totally fine with that. So they said basically it's like it'll be called Clear Obscure something, not Expedition or whatever. So again, makes sense. It's a subtitle. So yeah, really, really curious to see what they do with that space. I will say no more about the story because obviously there are huge spoilers
About to
involved.
say.
But everyone needs to play Expedition 33 before the end of the year because I want to talk to everyone about it. I want to do a spoiler cast about it. I want to interrogate people's thoughts and choices, and I want our patrons to have to pay for it. So, again, I will play whatever they put out next. I'm sure it'll be an amazing, amazing game. All right, Game Pass.
We'll get some goodwill. Jeez.
Yeah, right. Cameron, do you want to go through Game Pass updates?
Yep. So the stuff joining for this rest of August was Gears of War Reloaded and Dragon Age: The Veiled Guard. I don't think we know what's coming out for September yet.
Not yet. Yeah, hopefully it's we find out relatively soon, but it'll probably be.
Yep.
I mean, Monday is the 1st, so maybe we find out Monday, Tuesday next week.
Usually Tuesday evening. At least for us. Games Leaving, Borderlands 3 Ultimate Edition, Sea of Stars, Paw Patrol, Mighty Pup Save Adventure Bay, Ben 10 Power Trip, and This War of Mine, the Final Cut. Final Cut.
Yeah, again, we are recording this like on the 30th, so not a lot of time there. By the time you hear this, these things will already have changed, but hopefully we'll know shortly what the next batch is. Patreon.
Hearing good things about Gears. Hearing good things about Gears.
I mean, I'm sure it's great. It's just the same game again, right? Like,
yeah.
Gears of War is literally the game that got me into achievement hunting, so I do have a certain fondness for it. I was tempted to use it for one of my milestones, but I'm not going to wait that long to play it. I'm sure I'll get around to it before that. But yes, Patreon, patreon.com/HallOfGamers if you want to help support the show. A huge thank you to Old Mate Clown, Cavaliero7, Hack and Pone, Kung Fu Skills, Happy Moogles, Admiral Awesome, Natolinator, Lee Howard, Left for Legacy, and Venoms AU. Without your support, we literally couldn't afford to do the show. I'm telling you right now, I put literally every dollar of it into paying for hosting for the show on Buzzsprout and other platforms. So thank you so much. If you do want to help support the show, all of our outtake stuff and the stuff that we talk about before and after the show goes up there. We don't do it every week, I will admit, but we do try and be more consistent about it. And Cameron likes to bring topics for us to talk about. So this week we talked about fashion and video game fashion and being fucking nerds.
Sorry, we talked
Fancy
about video
nerds.
game fashion, and we talked about what is the most iconic male figure for fashion.
That's true. Yeah.
Videos.
So yeah, if that sounds interesting to you, you want to catch that and any kind of extra content that we do, things like Lights, Camera, and Action, which I know we've been slack on, but again, a lot of people have been away. That's the place to do it. And all that content is available at all price tiers. So whether you donate $2 a month or $10 a month, you get all the same stuff. We don't want to gate that based on how much you give. It's all just about if you want to help support the show in any way you can, we want to give you a little bit of extra value for that. So again, a huge thank you to our patrons. We also have the monthly theme, which the bi-masterral burden is actually every 2 months, but the bi-monthly theme doesn't seem to. I don't know, is that twice a month? Is that every 2 months? People still argue about it. So finishing up July and August, we were doing co-coping, which is you and your buddies against the world, teaming up and playing your co-op games. Been a lot of co-op play we've been doing recently, which is great. And then announcing that because we're at the end of August, we've got September and October, which is Creature Feature. So time to play games where your main character is a non-humanoid. Now, what counts as a non-humanoid, I want to see some debate about. Because Gears of War doesn't count. I know they're on planet Sarah or whatever it's called. That they're fucking humans, all right? They're not aliens, all right? I want to see some.
You said humanoid, not human.
Non-humanoid. So
yeah.
They can't.
Doesn't matter what their planet they're on. They got 2 legs. Do this
exactly. If they walk on 2 legs, probably not going to count.
My question for this is, what if you are playing as a duo and one of them is a human and one of them is a non-humanoid?
If you're playing as a duo, is it like a co-op duo or is it?
It's like you're both controlling the same aspect of gameplay.
What are you getting at here? What sort of fucking bullshit?
This week I've been playing Wheel World. And Wheel World, you play as a human character and a sentient bike with a ghost.
Okay, I will probably give you that, considering you spend the whole game on the bike. If you weren't riding the bike and the bike just happened to be there, it would not count. In the same way that Transistor doesn't count, just because there's a sentient sword doesn't mean that the character you control is the sword. Yeah, okay, all right. I will hear that debate, but yeah. So start playing your weird stuff. Start playing your stuff where you play as animals and other creatures and things like that. I want to see some interesting takes on this theme. But yeah, Cameron, now that you've kind of broken into it, let's get into what you've been playing. Let's start with you.
So I played 3 games this week. I will start off with Anthem. I fucking hate Anthem.
Anthem's bad.
The RNG. Okay, so I got all my collectibles done, right?
Yep.
And I still had the RNG achievement for Colossus to get the final weapon I needed.
I don't understand how that happened to you.
I spent 2 days grinding missions to get one weapon so I could complete this fucking game. Anthem is the best alpha game I've ever played. It would have been great if they actually supported the goddamn thing.
Or finished it.
Yeah. In all seriousness, no, there's so much potential with Anthem that it is frustrating. Because I do think there was stuff there was a lot more they could have done with it. I don't think games should have you unlock blueprints from collecting a weapon first.
Yeah.
The RNG bullshit is just frustrating. That's pretty much all I have to say about Anthem. The main game I've been playing this week is Wheel World. Wheel World is very much an arcade racer type of biking game where you play as Kat, a human that has come across this sentient bike. The bike is only sentient because it is basically... what's the right word?
Possessed?
It has like a ghost spirit. Yeah, it's possessed by a ghost spirit. And you're trying to help this friendly ghost spirit, cycle the chains of life.
Oh, okay. Yeah. I've heard a lot of hype about this game over the years of people being like, this looks like a really cool, interesting indie project.
It's very much just at its core a very enjoyable basic arcade racer. Like it scratches that bit of my brain where it's just like get first in the race, collect the 3 letters as you come in first, and beat the best time.
Gotcha.
There's a few collectibles, and there are some. I don't want to say like there's too many bugs. I have had 2 game crashes over my 15 hours gameplay, roughly. The only frustrating thing I've come across though is in the second environment there is a lot of the AI just bumping into you, knocking you off track, and then it costs you the race. It's very infuriating. Yeah. Whereas in the first world was like perfect. Like it's pretty easy, it's pretty chill. The soundtrack's pretty like I would say basic, but still entertaining.
Okay.
You'll have a good time, but I do feel like this is the kind of game that towards the end you will be all right.
You kind of seen everything you need to see. Yeah. Kind of.
The joy is in just biking across the open world.
Sure.
The only other game I've been playing this week is Expedition 33.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Where have you gotten to?
I restarted it. I did the prologue. I'm probably about an hour and a half into Act 1.
Okay.
I did the same thing that you did, whereas in playing it with Allison, I'm playing it with Nikita.
Yeah. And
getting Nikita to kind of guide the choices and all that.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't help when I play this game, though, and Nikita falls asleep.
Yeah. That's
like a sign.
I mean, I'm enjoying it. I'm interested, but at the same time, it still hasn't hooked me on like Game of the Year contender.
Sure. Yeah.
I think it's beautiful and all that, but I very much feel like I'm just playing a Final Fantasy game.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I definitely feel like it took me a little bit to get into it. I think that... Have you got to the village yet? Okay. Yeah, so I think that it starts picking up once you get a few more characters and the story starts you get a bit more direction and a bit more of an understanding of the world. But I'm with you. I think the early parts are just kind of like, again, that prologue is amazing, and then it kind of is a bit of a slow burn for a little bit.
Definitely, yeah. I mean, so far it's a good game. It hasn't. I know there are twists in that coming.
Sure, yeah. I'm not going to say anything more about it until you kind of get a bit further in, I think. But
that's what I've been playing. Oh, and finished Ben 10, but I'm not sure if I said that last part.
Yeah, I think we talked about it last year, or at least close. You were close to finishing it, yeah.
Yeah, it was just getting that last collectible. think. Yeah. That's me.
I've actually been playing a fair few things. I've been trying to catch up. So I got through the Castlevania Dominus collection. So I talked a bit about that last week. I had forgotten just how fucking good 2 of those 3 games are. It's playing through like Portrait of Ruin. I remember again. I played through all of Dawn of Sorrow back in the day when it first came out, because it was like I think it was a launch title for the DS or close to it.
It was, yeah.
And it was like, that was the cool one. I was like, oh sweet, Castlevania game, blah blah, and like had a really, and the such a cool fucking idea. I have some slight problems with the, like, it's not the best of that kind of 2D genre, but I feel like it's still a very solid entry. I still think Area of Sorrow, the prequel to it, is better. But it was really, really cool to go back and play through it. It has like a really good style to it, and the bosses are fun, and the whole like Julius mode thing when you finish the game, where you can switch between like basically like a you can switch between Julius, Alucard, and Yoko, and they kind of play like a Simon's Quest kind of thing. Not Simon's Quest, the other one. 3? Yeah, Castlevania 3. So I really, really enjoyed that. And then Portrait of Ruin is just like a really fun exploration of that genre of going, cool, what if we did Dracula's Castle, but we also do these like fun little things outside of it, where you go into portraits and we can kind of send you to like a sand level, or like a
Paris.
Yeah, exactly, yeah, or like a what was it, or like a carnival, like a haunted carnival thing, and so like it kind of plays with the thing a little bit. Unfortunately, like it's then like, hey, cool, do those levels again, but like slightly changed. And I was like, okay, it really would have been nice if you'd done 4 extra levels as opposed to just repeating the other 4. But really enjoyed playing through that, and having that mix of like a secondary character who has different stats and different abilities, different magic, and like different weapons. I feel like they're a little bit underdeveloped in terms of like their weapon kit is much, much smaller than the main characters, but really kind of cool, interesting idea. And the secondary mode for that is fun as well, because again, they give you 2 brand new characters to play as. And then you get on to playing Order of Ecclesia. Now, I also played a little bit of Order of Ecclesia when I was a kid, and I got up to the second boss, which I think is the giant skeleton, and could not beat it. It was just way too fucking hard. And I got up to it on this, and I nearly couldn't fucking beat it. This is the most fucking Dark Souls interpretation of a Castlevania game I've ever seen, in that it's crushingly hard. It takes like type advantages and all that kind of stuff. Like, it gets way more into the minutia of like understanding bosses' weaknesses. And also, it basically has a stamina bar where your magic meter, all of your attacks, because you don't have a weapon, you're a mage, all of them are like summoned weapons, so it uses up magic, and it replenishes quite quickly. But every weapon has a different amount that it takes away. And so it does have that kind of stamina thing of like attack, back away, attack, back away. And so it's much more about positioning and timing than your kind of classic Castlevania of like just getting into a corner and fucking them up. But, man, I know Order of Ecclesia is the one that like is very, very divisive in terms of like, you're not playing as a Belmont. It's kind of a different kind of system. And I can see so much of the DNA that Iga, the guy who developed it, the lead developer, went on to make Bloodstained, Ritual of the Night, with. You know, like you play as a character who's in blue and red, you do the whole thing of like absorbing abilities, there's the whole cooking thing going on, like there's like side quests and stuff, like you can see the building blocks that led up to it. But this feels like a half game in terms of a lot of the environments are not very good. Most of them are basically straight lines through, like there's not a lot of exploration. And unlike the other Castlevania games where you go into Dracula's castle and it's kind of a big sprawling thing, this is like you go to an area and you get from one end of the area to the other area. It's more like level based, like the traditional Castlevanias. And I think a lot of that's to its detriment, unfortunately, because there's not a lot of reason to go back to those areas. There are a few places where it's like, oh, I need a new ability in that classic Metroidvania way of, I need a new ability to go back there to get something. But most of the time, it's not really worth it. It's much, much smaller stuff. And the levels are like, you know, like 10 to 15 minutes long as opposed to kind of the more sprawling stuff. Dracula's Castle still is in there towards the end. And like that's kind of the final level. And that is quite a large area. But even that is not super exciting. A lot of it's like reused assets as well. You'll end up going through areas that look very, very similar. The enemy designs, there's a lot less of interesting enemies than what you'd see in the other Castlevanias. And I think my biggest problem with it is that the bosses are just so tanky. It's not so much necessarily that they do a lot of damage, although they do. Like, your main character takes a lot of damage and dies quite quickly. But you've got the reversing time thing, as most of these games do. So you have a lot of options to kind of get your way out of that. But you just sit there wailing on the bosses for so long. Even if you're like fully leveled up and you got the right type weapon, they just like, I feel like the bosses have like twice as much health as they need to. And it just becomes a bit of a slog. And I just kind of really did not enjoy playing through it, unfortunately. I had to kind of force myself through it. And I like it was like some interesting story stuff and some interesting ideas. And yeah, it feels like an interesting concept. In the same, not to like the level of Anthem, but it definitely feels like an alpha or like an interesting attempt at like a swing in a genre that doesn't that like Metroidvanias usually play it quite safe in terms of, especially Castlevania. Like those games, as you play through this collection, you're like, okay, I definitely see what's going on here. Whereas like this was a bit of a departure from that, and like I like some of it, but overall it was just a pain in the ass. I will say though that the second mode you unlock, where you get to play as the villain, where he has the ability to teleport across screen and has a gun that you can just keep holding down the shoot button. It's like putting Contra into a Castlevania game. It's fucking really fun and cool. And I was like, great, this was a fantastic time. I had a great time playing through it again because you just kind of zip through the levels. But yeah, so that's Castlevania. I do have the classic collection of the old games. I'm thinking about maybe going back and doing them. Maybe we'll see. I don't know. Like those, I'm much more of a lover of the Metroidvania style, but there is something. I said this last week, but there is something really appealing about the whole Metroidvania genre that to me that just like that has the secrets and a percentage bar and like unveiling a map and just kind of fighting fun bosses and like really cool weapons and shit. Like it's just kind of it is kind of my go-to genre, which is why it's so surprising that I haven't done Hollow Knight. But yeah. Shane, I know you played Dominus Collection a little while ago. What were your thoughts?
Order of Ecclesia is the worst.
Yeah.
What a drag of a game.
Yeah.
It's any other Castlevania, and Bloodstained for that matter. You can kind of pick a weapon or spell you like and just brute force through the game without a huge issue. Order of Ecclesia relies so heavily on weaknesses and resistances that if you're using a sword or something that's against something that can't use, you're just going to do like 1 damage and have to chip away at it. It's such a pain. Slog's a good word for it. The entire game feels that way. It's not fun. Yeah. But I love Dawn of Sorrow is one of my favorite games of all time. So I love that game. I was so excited when they announced that the collection was coming out.
Yeah, for sure.
Can we get a 64 collection? Let's get like Castlevania 64.
That would be really interesting. There are a few Castlevanias they haven't brought across, right?
Yeah, there's the Castlevania Wii game, the fighting one that's done by the Death Note artist.
Oh God, I forgot about that.
Yeah, that's a deep cut.
I had been thinking about maybe going back and trying to do Mirror of Fate and trying to get that boss rush achievement, but we'll see.
I did it, and I gotta say, once you get it down, it's Castlevania.
Yeah.
I mean,
yeah, that's fair.
But I found the controls of that one a little bad.
They're a bit weird. Yeah.
It's a little chunky. Yeah. Chunky is a good word for it.
Because it's the whole thing with the 3D models versus the 2D sprite stuff. I feel like it just doesn't have the level of accuracy. Other things I've been playing. Sorry, what?
Do that, and you can do just on a DLC.
Ugh, yeah. Well, let's not get ahead of ourselves. You still have to play Hollow Knight, so I don't want to hear it.
Oh, so do I.
Hey, I've got my 24 hard games picked out.
Yeah. Right. Well, I mean, Silksong didn't get its Shadow announced at Summer Games Fest, did it? I'm not letting go of this. I also did Zombie Army 4, so I've been doing that with the boys. So we've been running through that with Stubby, Keo, and Ickles. And so we got to the end of that, played through on hard, shot Hitler in the face, all that kind of stuff. I'm having a great time with it. I'm having way more fun than I was expecting to. I was kind of going in thinking, okay, this is going to be like a Strange Brigade situation where it's kind of a bit of a pain to just play through it and it's not that interesting. But the levels are relatively varied. The weapons have been fun to play through. Hard mode isn't like crushingly difficult. And you can kind of set the level of how many zombies there are. And the enemy variety isn't too crazy, so you feel like you have to swap weapons all the time and stuff. Like, yeah, we're having a pretty good time with it. So now it's basically horde mode cleanup, and then we got to go through the game again on Nightmare. So we'll do that at some stage, but there is all that fucking DLC for it, so I got that to look forward to. But it is a really fun, like, turn your brain off, just kind of shoot zombies for a bit with your mates and just kind of fuck around. So, surprised they haven't done a 5th one yet. The other thing I was getting into, similar to Expedition 33, is Final Fantasy 16. So this has been my play while everyone's in the house and watches the story kind of game. So I'm not sure how far I'm through it. Maybe, again, there is a little bit of an indicator of like certain things happening in the game, and there's a certain amount of them in the world. So I'm like, okay, we're probably maybe halfway through the game, maybe, but then they might surprise me. You never know. So we'll see. But yeah, getting up to some really fun parts. I'm actually really enjoying it. I know it kind of got some mixed reception when it came out in terms of it not being a true Final Fantasy game, and I can kind of see that in that it's it's action battles. There's no like party mechanics as such. It's relatively straightforward, but I really like the narrative. I think the narrative is very, very strong. It's definitely like leaning into that sort of Game of Thrones style mythology, as opposed to the more sort of like whimsy and magic. Again, like there's still a lot of dark stuff that happens in Final Fantasy games, but this game is much more on that like medieval kingdom warfare kind of thing, complete with like, tables of like history of like how troop movements happened and how things changed hands and what's happened over history. Like there's a lot of interesting context in there if you're a big fucking nerd like me. So yeah, actually really, really enjoying it. And I'm actually itching to play it, but I need to wait for everyone to be ready to watch more of it because I basically stopped right before one of the big boss fights that is coming up. So super keen to get back to that. And then the main thing I've been playing this week has been the Plucky Squire. So I talked a little bit about this last week, and then I just kind of started it. I'm nearing the end of it. It's not a hugely long game. I'm on like end of chapter 9. I think it's 10 chapters. Like I've got all the collectibles, for example. I've got most of the achievements. I think it's an alright game. I think it gets better the more it goes on. Like as it adds more mechanics and the puzzles get a bit harder, and but the combat doesn't really evolve all that much. You get like a jump attack and a spin attack. Again, it's a very like traditional top-down Zelda kind of style game. But I think what it's missing is like, like if you're looking from a Zelda perspective, like there's really fun boss battles and that kind of stuff, or like where you had to use the mechanics in fun and interesting ways. It feels like it falls just short of that. Like it has a decent amount of puzzles and it has okay combat, but I feel like it just doesn't do anything quite super, super well. It also leans on the kind of like jump out and go to the 3D world kind of mechanic stuff. A lot of that feels very like gimmicky and not that interesting. It starts off where it's like, oh, you could pulse, like if there's like a wall between you, but you have a portal on either side, you could pick up an item, jump into the 3D world and like just walk over the book and jump back into it. Things like that. And so they introduce a couple of those kind of mechanics early on, but none of them really get much more in depth than that. I feel like it's just kind of, this game's full of a lot of like missed opportunity, unfortunately. A lot of good references to stuff, a lot of fun like little things in there, but yeah. Sorry, Cameron?
I want to ask the Plucky Squire because it kind of seems like the game that is a game that doesn't benefit from the achievements. So what I mean by that is when I've seen Plucky Squire advertised, it's like it is 100% the gimmick of going 2D to 3D and that, and that's what they've put the most time and effort into. But then I hear when reviewers talk about it, the mini games and all that kind of stuff. And I don't know how the mini games correspond with achievements.
They don't, basically. There's one that corresponds with achievements, yeah.
So then I would argue the fact that from how we play a video game, we're not getting the best experience when somebody else might, enjoy those mini games and have a bit more of a diverse playthrough.
I mean, I did do all the mini games.
Oh, you did do them?
Yeah, okay. I have been doing them all. Yeah, you can skip them, but I haven't skipped any. Okay. They're fine. I mean, like one of the like the first like the very beginning, like there's like a Mike Tyson's Punch Out like style thing where it's like a one mini game that you play is kind of fun. Then there's like an arrow one where you have a bow and you have to shoot like it's like a light gun kind of thing. We got to shoot things. There was one that was like a match 3 bubble bobble kind of thing going on. I don't know, like or like Hexic. It just none of them feel so. Again, they're mini games, so I get it. They're not supposed to be like super well developed and stuff. But I have been playing through all of them, and none of them have been super interesting, to be honest. But I think they've got, like I said, they get better towards the second half of the game, where they kind of introduce some interesting more mechanics, and the puzzles get harder, and you have more things to think about. Like you get you get the ability to have like a stamp that will stop something in time. So if you hit out of the book and there's like a thing you want to stop moving, you can stamp it. And so that kind of like when you're like moving things around in the world, you can go like, okay, well this would normally interact with this, but now that I've basically put a stop on it, things will hit it, and I can make like a lead. Yeah. Anyway, I don't want to spoil the puzzles, but like I think that it's a good game. But this was something that got hyped for a long time, got delayed a shitload. I remember us. I remember going and seeing the presentation at the Devolver panel at PAX talking about it, and they were like talking about how hard it was to do the kind of technology between the 2D and 3D thing and kind of building two games at once and having them interact with each other. But I feel like just the 3D stuff is very, very basic, and because most of the interesting things that happen in the 3D world are you manipulating the book in some way, there are some parts where it's like you have to go out and explore the 3D world for a little bit. Those parts just kind of feel a bit tacked on and not that interesting, unfortunately. All the interesting stuff kind of happens in the 2D space, especially the story stuff, which is because I was kind of hoping for maybe a slightly more in-depth narrative, but it's really, really bare bones. I was kind of hoping for maybe some interesting subversions or anything like that, but right now it's just like standard go on a journey, but oh no, the evil guy figures out a way to kick you out of the book, so you have to find a way to get back into it. And I don't know. It just feels like wasted potential, unfortunately. And I don't want to say it's a bad game, because it's definitely playable, and like it's got accessibility options in there if you want to be invincible and like want to play it, take it easy. And like I said, you can skip the mini games if you don't want to play them. They're fine. Like I just played them because I was like, well, I want to experience the game. But yeah, it just kind of doesn't feel like it's quite come together in a way that I was like, oh, this is something I really want to recommend, especially at the price point, because I did grab this on sale. But yeah, that's me. So I will actually, yes, the one other thing I didn't put on here is I have been playing the Barbie Game Pass game, because I am at my milestone. So I am about to hit 2.6 million, and so I have been playing. I played a bunch of last night and this morning. I've been playing Barbie Project Friendship. And I've got 3 achievements left. It's going to go in my trophy case once I'm done with it. I just finished the main story. I saved the community center, and now I have to go do little side quests, and I have to go buy a bunch of different outfits. So I got that to look forward to. But yeah. So I guess
all I can think about, you're talking about Barbie, all I can think about is those burgers that came out alongside the movie, and now I'm hungry.
Barbenheimer. I mean, to be fair, like it's there's not really much to say about the game. It is literally just like the Bratz game or whatever before. It was very much like that. Walk somewhere, talk to someone, they give you a quest, you go and talk to someone else. Just fetch quests, and then occasionally mini games where you have to time button press. Although a couple of the mini games are literally just like a very basic version of Overcooked, where it's like make ice cream, and you have to pass the ice cream over to someone else who has other flavors, and then you have to like. This technically counts as a co-op game, by the way. Also, it has 2-player modes, so doing great.
Yeah, especially don't see that very often.
No, exactly. But yeah, I also want to shout out that I got to 2,400 completions this week.
Very nice.
From finishing Castlevania, so great.
I wish I could complete games.
Yeah, no, one day, mate. You can dream. It's good to have dreams.
Yes, well, you'll get there. Don't worry.
Shane, what about you? Speaking of completing games,
I was on vacation, so wasn't a whole lot of gaming there for a while. I was doing a game called Chip and Charge, which is like a little arcade tennis game.
Oh, okay.
I don't know what possessed me to do a sports game over cloud on vacation for an achievement a day. It's supposed to be. I probably could finish it in 10 minutes if I was home, but on a cloud connection, not great. Not great. Kept missing shots, so it was kind of a pain. But I knocked it out. I stretched it over through my whole trip. It's 10 achievements. Super easy. Also did some Minecrafting for the same thing. Then I finally got home. Game Pass had announced that Paw Patrol was leaving Game Pass. Another one of those. That, what's it called? Mighty Pups Save Adventure Bay.
Yep.
So knocked that out quick when I got back. At my first day back. It's a kid's game.
Yep.
The other Paw Patrol one I did was actually better. It was a little more open world. I think it was a longer game too. It was like 8 hours, whereas this was 3-ish or so.
Yeah.
Is the Save Adventure Bay one the one that has the Guitar Heroes like minigame?
No, I don't
don't
believe
think so.
so.
I can't even remember. They all blend
Yeah.
together at this fucking point. Play like
Yeah, there was definitely like a
There's
rhythm
one
game. It
of-
was more like Dance Dance. Like it was more very simplistic Dance Revolution or something, where just like
Oh
push
yes, yeah, there
Y,
was.
push
Yeah.
A. But I don't remember honestly. It's a blur.
there's one of the most. I don't think it was this one. I think it was like the most recent one released. I thought was a decent kids game, and then the rest of them feel very much like cash grabs.
Yeah. Well, that's the one I did. Like I said, the one I did was a little more open world. It felt like a classic PS1 game, maybe. Whereas this
Like
one,
swapping between.
it's such a little kids game. Yeah.
Yeah, swapping. Yeah, it was like how I wanted the Ben 10 one.
That was the
To be.
that was the world one, right? Where they had the vehicles.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Paw Patrol
that's
World. That was the one that was okay. Yeah, this was the one. This is the
Yeah.
one with the superhero stuff, and it's just kind of like linear levels, and you got to.
It's such a
Yeah,
bland platformer.
yeah, agreed.
Yeah. Yeah. But I also did Guardian Heroes. I'd started it before I left.
Oh
I
yeah,
think,
that's a throwback.
yeah, the Sega Saturn game that was re-released on XBLA in 2011, I want to say. Yeah, I hadn't played it back in the day. I didn't know anything about it. It is an XBLA game I have had for a long time. I started it for an achievement sometime before I left, but I didn't really dig into it until I came back. Completion wise, it is about an hour for a playthrough, I'd say. Um, there are choices you make throughout the game that change the path. It is a side-scrolling beat 'em up. This game is from 2011 or whatever. I think it's 2011.
2011.
There is no optimized route for achievement hunters on TA. Like there are lists of how to get the endings and lists of where you have to beat up every enemy in the game to get it, to unlock them in arcade for an achievement. There's no just do this for one run through, get all these achievements. Do this. So I made one. It's now on the Guardian Heroes achievement walkthrough. I made one like, hey, yeah, just do this, do it all in normal, do this run on hard, you'll have all the achievements. Boom. It should take you, I don't know, 3 hours.
I might do
if
that.
The completion time right now is 8 to 10 hours. So yeah, that should be a lot easier. It was an okay game, not my thing. It wasn't hard, so I'm not complaining about it, but it was neat. I love the sprite work. It was really pretty. There is a remix mode that kind of updates the graphics a bit into this weird like scratch art style thing they were going for. I turned it back to the basic Sega Saturn pixel. I thought it was really pretty. So easy enough. Whatever. Old XBLA game. And then I did my right at the end of the month. I got my game from 2024 for August 2025. And I went with A Quiet Place, The Road Ahead.
Oh yeah,
And
that's one that I always wanted to give it a go. I just kind of missed it.
Yeah, I ate through it right before we started the podcast. I got the last few achievements I needed. So, I was remembering playing it earlier and going, oh yeah, I guess I could say it's like a licensed version of Alien Isolation, but that makes no sense. It's Alien. Well, of course, that's licensed
Sure.
too. But that's what it is, essentially.
Gotcha.
But not quite as well made. The alien isn't stalking you all the time. There are certain sections where it'll jump into the arena and you have to avoid it. But it can kill you the entire game.
Right.
Like
Okay.
I played my first playthrough on hard. It's easy enough. I definitely recommend doing it that way. You have to be quiet anyway.
Right,
So
yeah.
like being a play on easy it just means they'll leave you alone faster so it's got like accessibility options too, where you can pretty much set it so there's this little thing you're holding. It shows your volume level. You can
Oh.
turn an option on that shows you also the alertness, which is all you need. So the only difference between easy and hard that I saw was the alertness would go down faster. So you still have to take your time. You still have to slowly eke open doors with analog. You have to.
Right.
So just play on hard.
It's got to open
It's
up
fine.
chip packets very quietly.
Literally, yes. Everything is analog. So many times I'd walk into a door, just push a little too hard and open, and my thing would go off because the monster now knows I'm there. And yeah, and no matter where you are, if you make too much noise, you're dead. It's going to burst through a wall and kill you. That's it. Done. Game over. there are multiple speedrun achievements for certain sections of the game. Once you have it down, it's trivial. There's one that's like 7 minutes to get through this section. It took me like 3 on hard. So it's not hard. It just, yeah. I thought it was cool. I enjoyed it. It's tense. If you can get into the game, if you're just blowing through it and cheesing it and whatever, it's a quick one, but it's not very fun. I was definitely like on the edge of my seat, slowly creeping around puddles, and then when I step on some leaves, accidentally stop and wait for everything to settle down, and then continue on. Like I enjoyed it. It was a fun little game, but I can see why it came out and no one talked about it. I get it.
Yeah.
So, but easy completion, I'd say. It took me, I think, 10 hours. The completion time on TA right now is 15 to 20 again. So, yeah. But that's cool. Now it's what, August 29th? So I gotta figure out my next one now already. Dang it.
Chapter select or?
I mean, Valguard just came to Game Pass, so...
Yes, there is chapter select, and it's also very, what's the word I'm looking for? Generous with the checkpoints.
Cool.
So for instance, I was playing on hard, and yeah, it checkpoints right before each of those time sections I told you about. So you just reload it until you get it. And then the problem is those checkpoints cycle out. So there's like 10 checkpoints. Right. So if you do have to go back later like I did, you're going to have to play the whole level over again. But
okay.
You just play on easy or whatever. So I would recommend, going for it straight through. Again, hard is a little harder, but just do it. It's faster. And you should get under 10 hours easy. So unless you're a noob. But we don't have those in our community, obviously. No, Cameron, no, don't. No, Cameron, no. No, Cameron, no. No, buddy, it's okay. It's okay. But yeah. What'd you say you joined Game Pass?
Dragon Age Valguard just joined.
Yeah. I might do that one.
Because
first off, it would be my first Dragon Age game. So hopefully that's not a problem.
Yeah, that's nuts, yeah.
Second, I was going to do Dustborn, but apparently it's just really broken.
Oh, really?
Like, the achievement still hasn't been really fixed, so I'm not going to take that risk. No. So I do need a game. So maybe I will do Valguard. I think my other ones are Slitterhead for October, Ghost of New Eden, which I might switch out because I think that has actually gotten a good bit of praise and attention since it came out. Where I hear a lot that that's a pretty okay, cool game.
Vanishes.
So maybe I'll switch that one out for something a little more.
It's on sale this week, I think.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah. So we'll see. Slitterhead's the one I'm looking forward to.
Yeah, for sure.
But yeah, maybe I'll do Valguard, maybe in December or something. But I think it'll be fun.
All right. Anything else?
No. What, Cameron?
Did you do Star Wars Outlaws?
No, I was trying to keep the license titles to a minimum, but I might slide that in too because that does look like something I'd really enjoy. But that's another one where I feel like now that all the nerds stopped yelling about it, it's like, oh yeah, that was a cool game. Same with Avatar.
Yeah. I enjoyed it.
I enjoyed it, but I don't think it's a great game. Let me put it that way.
No, not at all.
I think it's definitely got some problems, and I definitely think it.
When did you play it? Because I remember the main complaint people had were the stealth sections, and I think they
definitely patched that. So definitely the game is in a better state than it was for sure.
Yeah,
I played it back in March, I think, because that's when I had Ubisoft Plus for a month.
Along the same lines of Avatar, where I heard that's a really cool game too that just kind of flew under the radar. So
yeah.
Not good, but cool.
Yeah,
I feel Star Wars is the same way.
Pretty well made, yeah. All right.
I play games that are towing that line. People jump in and go, oh, I didn't know they made this.
Yeah, right. Yeah. All right. We also have the Word Challenge, everyone's favorite competition where I come up with a game and you go on our Discord to the Word Challenge channel and you get one guess per hour to try and figure out what that game is. And if you get it right, a GIF pops up. The GIF doesn't load because it'll just be a static image because the bot doesn't fucking work. So we're just going with static images now and just assuming that they just won't do it. So every week I give away a clue ranging from a database helper to a basically giving you the answer by the end of it. So the first clue was this is a handheld game. It takes place in the USA, has a number in the title, and the new clue that's basically going to give it away is this game has rotoscoping in it. And if you don't know what rotoscoping is, Google it, because it will probably, if you Google games with rotoscoping, it will probably just give you the answer to this question. So I'm telling you right now, because I can't believe no one got it this week. I'm also going to be very curious of like how many people have actually even heard of this game, because I really, really enjoyed it when I was younger. It was a very interesting kind of story. I'll talk more about it next week when someone definitely gets it. All right. Leaderboards. Cameron, do you want to read through those?
Yeah, sorry. Give me one moment. I'm looking up what rotoscoping is.
Okay. That's fine. I'll do the leaderboards. So in third place, we have Thrash Forever with 14,915, taking a break from his top spot. We have Oz Buff Fanatic with 23,090. And then in top spot, Northern Lass with 29,275. For comparison's sake, I'm in fourth with 3,340. So there's definitely a few people up the top there who, just kind of swapping around.
Crazy people.
Yeah, it's nuts. Completions. Shane, do you want to read through those?
Yeah, sure. Looks like Jake got around to Project Cars 3. Nick finished up Warhammer 40k Space Marine 2. Hack and Pawn did Split Fiction. Rapture did Ben 10, which I assume is the one leaving Game Pass. And Atlas Fallen, unless there's another one, I don't know. Ickle did Mafia 2. Found all of them pornos. Mike ID got Splitgate 2. Moonzom got Borderlands 3. And Shadowed Sly did Anthem. The best game of whatever year that was.
2016?
I'm glad you agree.
Maybe,
Apology accepted.
Maybe. Yeah, there we go. Yeah, exactly. But I digest. And I will also, Hack and Pone did also finish Ben 10 Power Trip. He managed to slip that in there. And Word Sudoku as well. Normally I wouldn't mention that, but hey, he managed to slip in just before we started recording. Yep. All right, well, I think that's pretty much going to bring us to the end of the show. As always, we do the show live on Twitch, Xbox Hall of Gamers, place to find us. So come say hi, hang out in the chat, shitpost. We always appreciate all the support. And if you do want to catch our other episodes, we do put up the VODs on YouTube. Char does a wonderful thumbnail each week, so make sure you go and check that out. You see some fun interpretations of the ridiculous titles I give the episodes. But otherwise, we're on your audio platforms of choice. Of course, your Spotify's and your Apple Musics and all that sort of stuff. Cameron, anything you want to shill?
You should do Creatures of Avia.
Okay, yeah, I'm thinking about it. If you can find me a good guide, if you can find me a good guide for it, then I probably will. Yeah, my biggest concern is that there's no chapter select in there. Shane, what about you?
FirehawkD.com if you want a quick link to all my stuff, but otherwise I'm FirehawkD on most things. FirehawkD_Xbox on Twitch because I forgot my password for my original account. But
easy. And I'm Neomaster on everything, True Achievements, Xbox, and Discord as always. Like we've mentioned the last few weeks, episodes might get a little bit spotty going into September because we're going to be traveling. Cameron's got his wedding. I will be there. So will Keo. So it will be a little bit tough to maybe do some episodes, but we will try and cycle through them. I'll try and find Jake somewhere. I don't know where he is now. He's probably off fucking buying anime figures. So we'll see how that
last
goes.
in the Congo buying action figures.
Every time we can try and get a hold of Jake, it's like 3 days later, just like slowly raises his hand.
Exactly. I don't know what he's doing. But that's going to wrap up episode 182. We will catch you guys hopefully next week. See you later.
Adios.
Bye, everyone.